get that timing into the battle fury that we tend to see. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just, it's very specific spell usage for the Jug here. It's a lot harder up against that Slark matchup down the line. And I'm really just keen to see how much Rojo Fireflute gets out without Lina. Like, Lina versus TA, first 2 levels should be pretty good. Past that point, with Refraction up, Volodka should be fine. But once you hit some timings on Rojo Fireflute, I mean, this Lina gets insane. Just get Ags, Kaya, you get some neutrals as well to boost your spell amp. It here does do a ton of damage. You hit that level 20 talent as well with 11% spell amp on top of your Flame Cloak, on top of your Kaya. You're just going to be killing everyone.
TiltedBoys already running up. They found a ward. Very, very nice. Still appreciate that gold and already a nice little advantage for Volodka. Verte, Rain Prince gonna have a bit of a fight. A 3-for-1 trade in the bounties. So Verte will leave Rain Prince alone. Not gonna chase too long here against the Pugma. And going back to the laning setup, I mean, the reason why you have to go Pugma here is because the Snapfire will just feed strength over the door. And you're not gonna get Little Shredder at level 2 anyway. So the Tombstone is not going to care for the snap. It's I feel like if you went Snapfire Mag, it's almost a guaranteed loss. Whereas now you've got at least a chance at pulling off an even lane here down at bot. But I still think it's very challenging. In fact, they just gave a double decay over the door, which is something that shouldn't happen. Like, if this Pugna gets decayed with the Mag, I don't know. It's not good.
Yeah, I just don't think there's a good laning setup here with your 2 supports either way. Like, the Pugna, I mean, you get decayed 2 times, it's going to be pretty awkward. You don't have that much strength. You can get run down. You do have your higher move speed for sure, but once Tombstone up with the grenade, you can just chase down the Pugna anyway. I guess Decrep can kind of hold you back at the very least, but At the very least, I suppose, for Grin, you can play with Shockwave and the Netherblast spam, so you can always shove in the wave and kind of just try to farm. So far, they're doing a good job just splitting up Rain Prince. Outside of that 1 double decay they gave out, should be able to just hold steady here. You can see how it develops down the line. Fert is copying quite a fair bit from Rain Prince. That is one thing the Undying can't handle. He has to gap close onto Rain Prince, although once you do, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Dole's doing a really good job.
Yes.
He's actually doing a really good job on this Undying. I feel like Grin is somehow losing the spot lane already. Still, I mean, mid lane, Rojo, Fireflute, and Volodka. Volodka's having a great old time as well, doubling the CS already of Rojo, which is to be expected. You kind of already went over this, but the Lina, not so much a right-click hero anymore. You are very reliant on just landing those spells to secure CS a lot of the time against a hero like TA. And I dare say Volodka should just not lose his lane. Like, it's quite hard to imagine Volodka dying solo to Rojo with the refraction up. Like, there's almost just no chance of it happening.
No, certainly no opportunity for Rojo, and he's not able to dance around. Ooh.
Top lane. First blood already occurring. Salivating Salamander landing a nice cookie here with Soul. And the level 1 spin proves to be enough.
I mean, it's a lot of output, especially if you land a Scatter Blast up. With that little slow up, just giving a little bit more time for Soul to get the proper position for the spin. It does feel pretty good. Salamander will sacrifice for this in the end. So nice follow through from Skyward to get that level 2 with a blast off. But this lane is set to be pretty aggressive from Grin. I don't think this slows down at any single point, even with, say, the early Ring of Health that you can pick up in the Tide. Soul should be able to still look for opportunities to get aggressive. And that's the one thing about Jug in this lane. You're not going to care for the Techie's output at all. All of that magic damage is not going to do too much when the Blade Fury is up and running here.
No, certainly not. 1-1 so far. Things looking very, very good again for TiltedBoys to start things off, but it's all the lanes seem to be pretty even. Like Grin, like Muzi's still finding farm on the mag, which is good news here. Dora has not found a kill with his level 2 timing on the Undying, by the way. Just kind of to be expected because you do have the escape route of the skewer. So, oh, no you don't. Muzi just used it. And he is as good as dead. They'll decrepify, but it's not going to help. I don't know what that skill was. In fact, Rain Prince, he's trying so hard to get rid of this tombstone. He's still probably down. The door is blocking. Verte, he got blocked by his Undying. Salve is out from Rain Prince. Decrepify to ensure they can't get the kill. And he's actually going to make it out.
Small mistake in that block. Still not too unhappy though. I mean, you find that kill onto Muzi. He has to save that skewer for the escape. Maybe mispresses on the skill up. You are contesting over the water runes. Rojo Fire Flu does find one, and Skyward's forced to pick the other one up, but not the biggest deal. I don't think you're under enough pressure for Volodka to feel like missing the water rune is going to impact him too much. Although,
that's right. Trouble, but the Soul Rip's going to keep him up, and it looks like he is going to remain safe. Ferte, this is one of those lanes where you just definitely don't want to die. There should be an outright win here for Tilted Boys. But it, again, I think GRIN have played this very well, not allowing too much advantage the way of the Undying. Sure, you gave away that one kill, but everything being said and done, like, you look at the Magnus's farm, Muzi still has almost 20 CS, which is really damn good. Like, look how great Rain Prince is just zoning out the Slark, and like, Doors just disappeared there for a moment.
yeah, like he's setting all his eyes onto stopping Muzi, but that allows Rain Prince to just keep spamming out that Nether Blast. So Ferte is not able to do as much. He does have the wand. He's got some burst healing on hand, 18 charges up. So he shouldn't be shoved completely out of lane anytime soon, but it is just space for the mag, which is exactly what you need here. And Door down to just a one Mango. Not going to be able to sustain through the spam all too much. And we'll see if they can try to prevent Rain Prince from just doing this. Like, the Pugna is getting a lot of value in this. Just using his move speed to constantly weave in and out. Has the boots up.
Oh.
So chasing down's a lot tougher.
Oopsie daisies. Doors connected. Very good. I love myself a terrible pun. There you go. Here we go. He's back
now.
Happy days.
There you go.
Rojo's coming up with the dad jokes for me, John. Very, very happy to see it. It's terrible, but I do appreciate it now.
Oh.
Yeah, bottom lane. Bit of a jump in. Not gonna matter. Doesn't matter much.
Yeah, not going to be able to follow through just yet. Still, again, rather even in the laning start. Rojo Firefly starting to find a grip down mid. So his build-ups, 25 to 11, good amount of denies. Should hit level 6 a little bit faster, which could mean a kill opportunity if the 6-minute rune favorites him. We'll see. Something like a haste could allow the Lina to maybe get a side lane rotation, relieve some pressure down bot. I think that's the lane that you really want to kind of eke out a little bit more here for GRIN, as top lane's just pretty free for your jug. So, rune control going to be big. No, well, at least Skyward showing up, although not fully committing for the rundown at 6 minutes, looking for the stack first. The side of GRIN kind of stuck in their side lane, so he should have the advantage coming into that 6-minute rune.
Nice rotation. Bottom lane, Salivating Salamander showing up now on the snap fight to ensure that they can kill off Door. Said I feel like the Undying impact right now just hasn't been as high as he would have liked, or it should have been really. GRIN getting a lot out of this off lane. He's trying to get the support duo rotating perhaps into the mid lane, but they decide better of it. They're going to head back down bot, maybe looking for Door again. Door does not want to die a secondary time. But now he should be fine, but the Salamander is sticking around for an opportunity. Door's going to show up. The Snapfire will eventually show, and ultimately nothing going to come out of this. Just showing the lane for a moment. So they'll stick around for the 7-minute Wisdom Rune timing, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 on those anyway. Nobody up top here from the Dire to try and steal one away from Tilted Boys, so Us should be able to just pick it up himself.
And the contestation should be pretty nice for the Tide to get level 6, although it looks like they'll hand it over onto Skyward. So not going to be prioritizing the Tide all too much. Still pretty nice to not surrender the runes. And Tilted Boys have been pretty on point with trying to steal away these runes as well. every single time, but they don't really have the angle to find. Still 2-2. They're maintaining that trial lane for a little bit down bot. See if they find the angle in. I mean, this is the one thing with the Jug as well into the Tide lane. You don't need any support to really feel good there. Salivating Salamander, they see that rotation out onto mid with the creep chasing him for a very long time. So you should be able to set up to back off on Wildcard, and he's already going into that jungle anyway. So a little bit unfortunate. Just having that creep aggro on too long there for Salivating Salamander means that you don't really have that opportunity mid. And with Lina level 6 up, you kind of do want to look for a burst play.
That you do. Power runes are going to spawn. Rojo will pick up a regen for himself. Skyward was around, but no blast off to commit here. Rojo's found some great farm on the Lina. It's gotten to the point where Volodka's just said, screw this, I'm going to the jungle now, which is pretty standard for a TA anyway. He stacks to be taken to the triangle, so there's just no reason for him to stick around in the mid lane and risk his life. But he will make his way back over now, it seems. So Rojo, I can't say one level behind. There's only a few creeps behind the TA now, but it seems like Volodka's got off to a good start in terms of XP at least. I think the TA just not dying is obviously going to favor the side of TiltedBoys quite a lot, because the TA is going to be a huge problem as time goes on. You can see Skyward, he's continuing to just make stacks for the Templar Assassin this game. Pretty standard stuff. And Soul, top lane, gonna get jumped. Ravage is there, they've got the kill. That's a perfect setup from Skyward.
Yep. Just in the fog, not able to get the spin off. You find that punishment onto Jug, who's been left alone for quite a long time. You are building up on Ush now, with the phase boots up and a Ring of Health a little bit hard to pin down. The rotations coming out from GRIN, the time their supports are spending is not really lining up to too much outside of that one kill bot. They're not able to stack up as much, although the Ancients are kind of built up here, so they've got something to clear out for Muzi. And for the Jug, of course, you still have the Jug Mag lane overall, the Jug Mag combination. I think the one thing that GRIN is, again, probably feeling a little bit less than ideal about is that they're not able to do much with the Lina yet. It's a solid start for Rojo. But again, you've been sitting on Laguna for a long time. You can't really look for that kill onto the TA whenever Refraction's up.
Omni slash out onto the Undying. He's still going to get his tombstone off in time. He's not going to die. Doors surviving longer than expected. They don't have the damage. Rain Prince, the first one to go. Rojo's going to try and rotate over. He'll land a stun on Volodka, finds a kill on Skyward. But Soul is still going to die. And Door, in all of this, survives another day. That Omni Slash just looked so sad. It's just the damage, the attack speed, it was just not doing it.
I'm a little bit surprised that they forced that movement out here for GRIN. And Soul just doesn't have output. Maybe if you're just in lane, you look for the Omni Splash play. You definitely don't try to chase down in that kind of area. The Undying is a little bit too durable. A couple of decays up. You're not able to trade well. And your Jug is the one here that does need that early momentum here. He is going for a Diffusal Maelstrom, so he will be relying a little bit more on the Magnus this game. Gonna need to stick around, get the Empower every single time before a big fight breaks out. With that kill, your top lane's open for the push as well. No full Meteor Hammer just up yet for Ush. But he's just shoving in. No one to really contest him. They do have at least Salamander around waiting, but his level 6 is still a ways off. So you can't threaten for a team fight with the kisses here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And T1's just gone. Huge loss for GRIN. Top lane, Salivating Salamander, gonna get ravaged by Ash. No hesitation from the Tide, just committed immediately. Secure a kill for yourself. And he's even got the top tier 1 tower now. So top tier 1's gone, mid tier 1's gone. The map opens up for TiltedBoys, which is terrible news for GRIN, because they're falling behind now in terms of net worth and they want as much map space as possible. 13 in the meantime, just taking another ward on the Slark, no fear of actually dying to Rain Prince. And he's going to be fine as now the rotation comes in from Door from the north. The Door's by himself, so he's not going to be able to get a kill on Terrain Prince. Just making sure the Slark is okay. Scouting out the Radiant Jungle a little bit. But a fantastic start for TiltedBoys. Really just no contest here for game 1 so far.
And not too much coming out from GRIN. Again, the support movement earlier on impacted their side lanes. That gave them that kill opportunity up top. They find 1 kill down bot, nothing else afterwards. And this is where the game starts to feel a lot slower for GRIN. This is when you're starting to have to farm up on your mag, having to farm up on your Jug, even your Lina to an extent will need more build up as well. Rojo already having the Aetherlands Boots of Travels, but doesn't really have anyone to connect with. Like right now, you're waiting for probably just a blink from Muzi. Echo Saber into Blink. Once you can maybe get a Blink RP onto 2, you can get the follow-up Kisses. You can start cleaning up that way, maybe even line up for the Omni Slash with Empower. And your Wombo combo can be quite nice on GRIN, but it takes time to build into that point. Whereas for the side of TiltedBoys, they're hitting their key timings already. Desolator up and running for Volodka. Jungle farm goes a lot faster. Threat of Roche opens up as well here for TiltedBoys. If they find a good fight, you are running a TA Tide. So if you do go into the Roshan, it's not going to take too long. And they've been playing around with a Ravage really well. Like, it's going to come off in 30 seconds. You can look for some movement out from Ush. He already has a Meteor Hammer as well. So he's applying solo pressure into the top tier 2, all by his lonesome. And if you leave this tide alone for too long, he's just going to find these objectives. And there's just no contest from GRIN. They're just forced to run around and farm and help the course in staying alive and getting that farm.
Yeah. There's one of the heroes that I still like building Meteor Hammer is this target. Just the fact that you can stand so far forward near a T2 tower and you're pretty confident just won't die with max Kraken Shell. It's going to be pretty frustrating for GRIN. They're going to try and move on to Furte, but he does have Shadow Dance available. He won't even need it. He'll just pounce away. Rain Prince, he's the one in danger as he's going to drop to Ash, who does move in with the Ravage available. Looking for Soul, but Soul is going to TP away in time. Muzi, barely avoids the pounce. No TP cancel. We'll even drop a voice line. But it is an unsuccessful gank attempt onto the Slark. It's even mid lane now. The jump in onto the Lina. Rojo is just gone. Solo kill for Volodka. This game 1, it's not looking too close.
It certainly isn't. GRIN just not able to find her timing, not able to really get that aggression they'd want in the laning phase. Now the clock pump is coming out from TiltedBoys.
Oh, Rain Prince, where you going, sir? Where you going? Side blades, Volodka not going to find the kill that way. Door will take it instead with the decay. Muzi, he has Skewer. Blast off is there from Skyward, but they're just going to cookie. Door wants to dive in. Ush is in with a big Ravage. 3 heroes caught out. Rojo just TP'd back into the mid lane, at least finding Volodka. He'll find a great kill for his trouble, but it is going to cost him his life. And right now, I don't think Volodka's going to mind dying like that too much, as Ush will clean up a triple kill here in the mid lane. Very clean performance so far from TiltedBoys.
They understand how far they can push themselves here. Really good timing for Ush to find that blink and big reveal with that Ravage down mid. Whereas for the side of GRIN, I mean, you still need farm. You've got the Diffusal up in Soul. That's not really going to help the cause just yet. Jug's still a little bit of a glass cannon when he is fully committed upon. Needs way more. Needs at least a Manta with his stats. That's where things start to feel a little bit comfy for the Jug, but it's a little bit more time as well to hit that point. Furte.
This is the target they want so badly, but Furte still has the Shadow Dance and will pop it. Pounce not available though. Soul's trying to move in for an Omni Slash, but can't quite reach Furte. Just walks out of there very calmly. And now, even if he dropped the Omni, I don't even think it would have been a kill, to be frank. This wouldn't have been enough as top lane. Rojo's gone. TiltedBoys are all over him this game. They are not giving any space to this mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, Skyward's listening to lo-fi beats to relax / camp mid win. And he didn't quite camp mid. Well, not that hard, but he is hunting down Rojo for sure. Find that top tier 2 now as well. And the side of TiltedBoys, 7k up, 12-4. Finally going for that Roshan we mentioned with the TA. Not going to take too long. Over to Gush available. Gonna find a nice and easy objective. The side of GRIN, in the meantime, trying to push down bot. So they might be able to find a tier 2 in exchange, but a tier 2 and Roche for a tier 2 down bot, you take that trade any single time, the TiltedBoys. And for the side of GRIN, I mean, you've got the Echo Saber up in Muzi. It's not really what you need. You need the blink, you need the auras up on this mag. So until that timing, there's just still no play coming out from the side of GRIN. They just don't have team fight. They don't have a way of starting these fights, although Door.
Jump in bottom lane, Door gonna get omnied. He does jump towards Verte, but he has the Shadow Dance. The Soul finds nothing, and now the TP. He will still make it. So unlucky. I love that from Verte. He jumps in, he takes the Omni, and then he just pops Shadow Dance. Nice from Rojo, though. Rojo moves in bottom lane, just pops Laguna Blade. Takes out Door anyway. But it's still not a good trade. Not a good fight at all here for GRIN. Nothing's really working out for the dire end of things this game one.
No, certainly not. At the least, finding a kill at this point always feels good when you are this far behind. Every single kill does count, so as long as you find some pickoffs, you can feel a little bit better. They are starting to invade that top jungle, though. No care in the world here from Osh, knowing how strong he is. Just not allowing that much free room out for Soul.
Yeah, blast off. At least not going to land. Soul is able to spin his way out. Bottom lane, Volodka's actually started onto the tier 2 tower, but does blink away from Rain Prince. GRIN Esports maybe looking to group up and try to go for a bit of a fight, bit of a pick-off, but it seems like it's TiltedBoys that are going to be the ones to run in, as Verte already onto the snap. Meanwhile, Rain Prince almost getting deleted here by Volodka. They won't go any further. Verte now down towards the bottom lane, where he'll find Muzi. Skewer? Oh, almost caught him. I don't think Muzi really wanted to catch him, to be fair. Would not have been very well advised. And TiltedBoys, it seems like they're just going to start on the bottom tier 2. Like, this game one is just so dominant. I don't think there's any real reason to not just take the tier 2 towers with how strong Volodka's looking right now.
No reason to stop. Even Volodka with his build going straight for the Daedalus. Not even opting for that intermediary Dragonlance for some stats, just going all in on damage output. Why not? There's no real way of melting through refraction. You will, at least for the side of GRIN, have this blink up on Muzi rather soon. But we need to see them coordinate around that, because even if you get a good RP, there's always Ush to punish, or to Ravage if you don't manage to burst down the Tide, which feels very difficult this game. Pushing down mid, but the TPs are in.
Oh, mid lane, Ush. Double Ravage is out, or rather double Heroes and the Ravage is out. Rain Prince, though, Volodka dropping low, but is going to survive. Barely surviving on the TA. Very, very close call against the Pugna. Meanwhile, mid, they're still going. Salivating Salamander. Probably not making it. Volodka will take the double. Perhaps the tier 2 mid tower now, while we're at it.
Yeah. Again, just nothing to stop them. The RP is up for Muzi with a blink. So I think this is where they need to play around. And it looks like they're going to have to play around at high ground instead. Just not going to be able to def mid in time. They need to connect all their spells. We need to see something like RP Kisses coming out with maybe a follow-through stun from Rojo Fireflu. If you can get that done, then the game can open up. It's just... It's hard to see that angle come out. While Ravage is down, this could be their opening, though. But just run away a little bit too fast.
Big blast off Skyward. Another great initiation. He'll cop the Laguna, but he took no damage from it. Level 20 talent, plus 20% magic resist on the techies. Gonna feel very good against Lina right now. Salivating Salamander, barely surviving. Muzi, he'll go for the skewer. Volodka getting caught, but he still has the Aegis up. He'll lose the first life eventually, but now Soul in an awkward position. Will keep going after the techies with the Omni Slash. He'll commit. He does find one. He does find a second, but Soul now in huge trouble. The Ferte goes down. Ferte just jumps into his death. Never mind GRIN Esports. They can keep going for more now. Ferte, with his death, he kind of messes up the team fight for TiltedBoys. And GRIN, they're still trying to capitalize. Like, you want to punish while you can. They haven't caught anyone else yet. Soul's trying to break the gap, but Ash is going to blink away. He's going to be all right. It's suddenly a bit of a sign of hope for GRIN.
A little bit of an overextension out from the side of TiltedBoys. They forced that fight without the Ravage as well, and Ush. So a little bit keen to try to get that done. I think you don't respect the fact that without that big AoE control, there is still output on the side of GRIN. And that's the entire fight breaking out for GRIN without even having to pop the Blink RP here on Muzi. You still have that option available, although into the Ravage, it's a little bit scary to try to force anything out. I need to see Ush commit that onto a pickoff, or just catch Ush out in your control and try to melt everyone else around him before taking any next fight. But GRIN, they're starting to scale up a little bit more. Network gap is still pretty damn high at 7k. Smoke out from TiltedBoys, so looking to rectify from that last fight.
The Rain Prince going to be the victim, it seems. Though everything does miss thanks to the cookie of Salivating Salamander, but it won't matter. Wildcard will just delete the Pugna. And that AoE gush now from Ash. I do love that Aghanim Scepter. It's so detrimental to the enemy when you're already ahead. Because now with the AoE gush, it just feels like you're never going to be able to escape anything. Just constant slows and damage coming in with some more minus armor. And Wildcard, he'll say thank you very much for that, because he's got a Daedalus up now. So that minus armor, it's going to feel very nice.
He's just going to be able to eat through a lot of these heroes on GRIN. Like, the supports are just not going to survive. Oh, skewer back.
Almost killing off Ferte. Barely surviving. Will be able to double pounce out of there with his own Ags. And can just reset. Now they know the kisses are down. Laguna will be down for another 45. But it seems like they're going to TP down top lane instead. Try and maybe find Soul on the jug. Soul already retreating though. Or maybe not. Going for a large camp. We'll go for the spin TP play. Skyward. Not going to time the blast off well. And Soul, I mean, you couldn't have timed it well because the spin was going to last too long anyway. No chance.
They miss out on an opportunity. And Soul, he's using the space really nicely in the jug. Butterfly's almost done. He's going to have a lot more output than that Omni Slash. A lot more slashes to play with as well. So longer invulnerability period to have. Smoke out now from GRIN.
It doesn't seem like it's going to amount to much here. It's pretty obvious smoke rotation, it seems, and TiltedBoys are running the right way. Yeah, man, it literally amounts to nothing.
A little bit of time wasted here for GRIN. Back to farm for Soul. Again, Butterfly only about 400 gold away. TiltedBoys, they're still in control of the game. They've still got 2 waves shoved in. Only the bot lane not quite under their control, but they're already starting onto that high ground. With Ferte, would probably prefer to have the TA around her as well, but looking like they're just trying to bait the movement back in. Not going to risk too much out here. Maybe look for a pickoff.
Perhaps mid lane. That'd be a nice one. They got Muzi. Great start here already for TiltedBoys in this high ground attempt. Onto the top lane they go. Ferte. We'll force the glyph out. GRIN, at least they have the butterfly now on their jug. So Soul, he could join in and fight it with his team, and it seems like he will TP back now. Mind you, of course, he has no buyback gold, so if he gets caught out, you're in a bit of a dire straits kind of situation. But TiltedBoys, more than happy to retreat for now, just play it safe, understanding they have the stronger scaling going into the late game. I mean, with a 10k advantage, it only takes one bad team fight to lose all that. So they're not willing to just risk it here against GRIN. Better to go for a pick-off or two. Maybe even just wait for the next Roshan. and then go high ground after that. And speaking of next Roshan, it is up and ready. So, Tilted Boys already getting first dibs on that. And it's going to be a free one, I think. I don't think GRIN are going to try and smoke for this.
Nah. They don't really have map control. They don't really have vision to play with. They could try. This could be a good spot for a big RP Omni, but Roshan's falls way too fast with the output you have here on Volodka and all of the minus armor in the world. Take that Aegis up. They leave the cheese once more, as is tradition now for Rosh number 2. She's just in the pit. But maybe not even necessary to have it. You know, maybe sending a message.
Oh, I just find it so weird every time. It just pick it up and sell it. Like, why not just take the, what is it, 500 gold? Just take it.
So,
Bottom, they're on the jug, but Soul can spin TP, and looks like with the evasion of the butterfly, he is mostly going to be fine. Mind you, though, MKB is going to be up on Volodka very, very soon.
and not too far off. Soul's doing a good job, though, of just constantly pressuring bot. Bot tier 3 down to 158 HP. So another quick shove should give them an opportunity onto objectives. Smoke out here could be a good team fight for either side.
Oh, Skyward moving in, gonna break the 5-man, will be skewered away. Skyward actually still alive somehow, will finally go down. Rain Prince, he'll be the one to get caught so far. Ravage coming out, landing on quite a few targets here from Ash. Omni Slash though gonna fly through, but not really doing too much damage. It's not doing too much, Soul. But no, there's the Omni. But it's it was on the TA where the Aegis expired. Verte gonna pounce away. RP did nothing. Volodka looking to just get out of there. Verte in the meantime actually gonna drop. Back Volodka. Volodka's down as well. What the hell is this fight? GRIN. They'll just keep going. Rojo catches another. The Undying going down. Tips coming out for Rain Prince. I've clearly missed something here, John.
Yeah, they just found a really good angle, like that skewer back, isolating Skyward, and then the nature of Tilted Boys coming in, they kind of ran in one by one. They got some good spacing out because of Rain Prince dropping that nether ward down on the low ground, so they waste some time clearing that out first. They're not able to gap close onto that fight earlier to try to punish Soul, and he manages to hang on to that Omni, landing it onto the TA, and just melting through again. With no stats up in TA, once Refraction melts, you are a very squishy hero. So they have enough right-click on GRIN where Soul can just right-click down the shield. You've got some burn damage as well coming out from the kisses, and all lines up to get that win. Massive win for GRIN, taking away that Aegis advantage. No cheese again for Tilted Boys, so you don't have that utility on hand. I would be very I'd be very happy to see GRIN find the cheese themselves somehow. That'd be very funny. I don't think they would, but no cheese is... Honestly, if you had cheese, maybe that's a little bit better. Like cheese up in Slark when Shadow Dance fades could have given them an opportunity there, but a little bit harder to pull that off. And that's the fight for GRIN without even the big RP. The RP just whiffs onto two heroes there, trying to time it for the Aegis and for the Slark, and not finding either.
They almost find a Light Striker 8 onto the Slark. Nice pounce away from Verte to avoid it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Net worth lead down to 5k here. 4 Tilted Boys, not too much to write home about. It's only a much scarier position. This Jug Sun look quite scary as time goes on. Skadi to come up very soon. And Tilted Boys here start to worry that may have waited a bit too long as that Laguna Blade. Rojo 5 for just kind of testing how much damage he can deal with that. There's about 3/4 of his HP going away instantaneously, which is quite ridiculous. But that is the leader right now.
Just magical burst back on the menu for Lina with that flame cloak up. Can't be underestimated. E-Blade being formed up here as well. The combination with a Pugna, Decrep plus off that spell amp. That is one way to kind of win out these fights here for the side of GRIN. Full Scotty now up and running for Soul, as you mentioned here. So all the stats in the world, even more time in the Omni. Can feel great. Smoke out is 4 for GRIN.
Dire are scanning.
It's not going to amount to much here, John. Just a few D wards coming out in the Radiant jungle.
It's funny. With Lena's level 25 talent, in this kind of game, would you want the pure damage for Laguna Blade? Because you have Decrep. And that only amps up magic damage. So do you want to keep it as a magical damage spell and then just go for the Laguna Blade cooldown? I feel like that's probably the better route. It's a little bit strange to think about, isn't it? Because you can't amp up pure damage.
Well, I mean, the thing is, she does have a lot of spell amp, right? Because of the Ags, so it might actually still be worth to go for pure.
Yeah, but then Decrep takes away 60% of your magic res anyway. 60% magic damage amp, which pure damage doesn't interact with.
But you're gonna have to rely on the Pugna in that case. You know, I think it's might be better to go for the just the pure damage. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, minus 25 seconds is pretty big as well. So we'll see what her Fire Flu wants. Obviously, it's a pretty important talent here in this game. It might give them a chance to win out this game 1. Could be the game changer here in this this game 1. So we'll see.
I think the one thing I'd like to see out from GRIN here as well is Soul getting his Ags. You do need that secondary Swift Slash. And eventually the bot does push in with a creep wave. Again, Soul's been doing a great job of just using space here to farm up and constantly provide an opening. So they actually find a first tier 3 of the game on the side of GRIN. And the 6k lead doesn't feel like it's amounting to too much. Rojo Fireflu just jumps forward with a Flame Cloak. The fact that he gets to fly around with Flame Cloak is a little bit funny for me. Like, everything's great, and then the unobstructed movement is kind of like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, I guess if it didn't have that, the Ags wouldn't feel very worth. That's the thing. It's like, is it really worth to buy the Ags without that added unobstructed movement? Probably not. Who knows? Knowing the Frog, he'll probably end up removing that that feature of the Ags. Just to nerf Lena again. It's mid lane. TiltedBoys, they're gonna smoke up. Skyward does miss out on the smoke, but it won't matter too much. Might just play the bait for his team. Run into the high ground. They will get the wards down. They're onto the Pugna immediately, and Rain Prince is gone. That's a start, but Rain Prince, he's gonna buy back into the fight. Muzi now looking towards Door. A decent ravage, but it's really only connected on one target, and that was Salivating Salamander. Meanwhile, Door, he is going to go down. GRIN still able to fight now with the Pugna rejoining. TiltedBoys are the ones that need to escape, I believe. His Door does not have buyback available on the Undying. And it does seem like that's going to be about it. GRIN Esports looking to move high ground. See if they can secure the bot lane of Barracks. Soul does have a double damage for a little bit longer, so it's not going to take him too long on the jug to get this done, but the glyph is going to come out. It's going to be enough to force them back now. At least to wait for a creep wave, that is. Door back up in 10 seconds. It is very challenging to push high ground into this Ags Gush, to be absolutely fair, though. Like, Ush can just defend so easily with this Aghanim Scepter. So they won't be able to have their chance at high ground. They need a bigger team fight than that.
They stall out pretty damn well on TiltedBoys. Side of GRIN don't overcommit, though. Omni Slash still up. We've still got RP. They do manage to find a pick off on Salivating Salamander up top. Fred are more than happy to take that free before himself. Muzi? I think they saw him go through the gate.
They do get the trap off. Rain Prince going to join the team to try and help out, as Muzi's going to go for a skewer onto 2, but it's not going to amount in his life. Well, it is rather. Rain trying to get out. They've got it. Nice easy pick off. They'll even find the cheese here for Wildcard. They'll switch the cheese out for the bottle, just saving it for later on apparently. And naturally, they're waiting for the next Roshan again. It is still a minute 10 away, though, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But they could just go high ground. There's no Pugna buyback for another minute.
They have to watch their bot. Soul's just pushing in again. Should be able to find a Rax if you leave him alone for too long. And looks like he will at least find a melee. So you will trade here. Fortify to stall up in that top push. Should be able to still find a full set of Rax.
Soul actually finds Skyward down to that bot lane. Does find the full lane of Barracks. So it is going to be a bit of a direct trade. Not too bad at all here for GRIN. The Soul is going to TP. Volodka almost going down, but the cheese will save the day. Soul wanting to chase for a little bit more, but is not going to be able to really close the gap on anything. I believe the next team fight will just have to be about the next Roshan, which is available now in about 10 seconds. The annoying thing is for GRIN, you don't have that Omni Slash now. In fact, jump in from Verte. He's going to jump in knowing this, and the Ravage coming out from Ash, landing on all of them. GRIN still trying to fight. It's looking pretty tough, though, without the Omni. They've even brought back on Rojo Fireflu, but he's still walking his way back up. So TiltedBoys, they can happily just retreat. But they're going to counter smoke again. They'll go back in. They're under vision, though. This doesn't look quite as good as a team fight. Door, he's going to get the D-wards off. There's a lot of damage coming out, but a big RP to come. They've got Volodka down. Verte down a boot. This was a bad fight. This was a really, really poor decision to try and go for this fight. I guess they wanted the dieback, though, on Rojo to try and go high ground. But they go in with no vision. And they end up just getting destroyed here by GRIN.
Yeah, they tried to jump the back again, but Muzi's there with a skewer back, the RP threat, and taking these team fights without Ravage just feels really hard for the side of TiltedBoys. We also saw some earlier usage in that Shadow Dance, so you don't really have the big saves. Skyward trying to hang around for a big Aegis steal. Wondering if he will find the timing.
He's going to try. Makes it pretty obvious he is around. Rojo's having a search. He is not going to see the techies, so Skyward is a little bit early into the Roshan pit and will not be able to survive long enough to have a chance at Roshan. He just cheese and Refresher Shard going to go the way of GRIN Esports now. Just 40 minutes into this game. Things looking much, much better for GRIN. So again, TiltedBoys, there's just been a couple of mistakes that have cost them the early advantages they did have, and even now they still hold the net worth advantage, but they've just been trying to rush the game a little bit too much, I think, not respecting the output from GRIN Esports. Maybe feeling as though they aren't going to scale quite as well later on now, as I suppose they are up against Jugmag and Lena. But these team fight losses that they've had recently have certainly cost them quite a bit. And that third Roshan is massive, and it really should have just been theirs.
Yeah, should have been able to find it, but and they mess up in that fight beforehand. They commit a lot to find that first kill onto Rojo. Gets the buyback, no Ravage. Control just isn't there. And the control from Muzi is there. He's been really patient with the RPs this game. Does pay off. It also kind of boils down to how much space Soul was given. Like, he's been allowed to play down bot, to shove into that high ground by himself multiple times. Just no punishment for the Jug. It just leads to the circumstance where, you know, you find top, but you trade evenly, so you're not in a bad position for GRIN. They take the follow-up fights. They've got the Omni Slash combination with the RP. They've got the Empower onto the Jug. You have level 25 up in Rojo Fireflu now. He does go for the pure damage on the Laguna Blade. So should be able to just rip through any single hero here, and has his full Hex up and running, even more control for the side of GRIN. And what's holding them back here on the side of TiltedBoys is there's no defensive items up on your TA, no BKB. Went full all in on damage and utility with the MKB and with Nullifier, without any way of getting some debuff immunity out. I mean, I guess to an extent it's not going to be that helpful against a Magnus, but at the same time you're up against a Lena.
No,
Spell spamming's always going to feel good here.
It's very helpful against Lena and Pugna. and Snapfire. I mean, there's no excuse for no BKB. I didn't even realize, John, to be frank with you. I thought this whole time he would have picked one up just because it just makes no sense not to. Like, who cares if you're up against a mag? You're getting bursted by Rojo every time your refraction's gone. The Cripify is going to be annoying to play against as well. Interesting choice from Volodka. So maybe feeling like the game was just already in the bag after the laning stage he did have. They were off to a very strong lead for TiltedBoys before these bad team fights happened. Now just a very awkward scenario where it's being pushed into the high ground. Sure, you've got great high ground defense, and it is quite hard for GRIN Esports to commit for this mid-tier 3 tower. They'll get there eventually as Ferte will jump in. No skewer back play from the mag yet. Ravage, though, is completely whiffed. But they got Muzi. Skyward, he'll miss the blast off. So they're going to try and aim down this Lena. Nullifier is out. Yule Scepter was there, though. Rojo Fireflu trying to run, but he's been slowed up by the sticky bomb and eventually should just die. That'll be the first life on the Lena gone. Now the Omni coming through with the depth round. Going to really protect everyone. They'll commit a secondary Ravage. RP out from Muzi. He's going to refresh. He'll pop another. He found a 3-man that time around. Still, they do find Volodka. The TA is down, but Ferte is still going. Volodka, he'll buy back on the TA. Try and rejoin this team fight. Everyone else does just retreat. Door the one to go down on the Undying. At least you do have Rojo Fireflu down with that buyback on the Lena. But we'll see if they can actually capitalize on TiltedBoys.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a risky spot buying back in Volodka. If he dies here,
Ferte,
that could be GG.
Ferte, he's got the Shadow Dance. He's gonna pop it. That's one down. Onto the Pugna they go. Buyback's incoming here from Door. Rain Prince trying to get out of that corner, but is trapped up. Will go down surely. The damage of Ash is now Skyward jumping in, finding Salivating Salamander, and they've even got the jug controlled up. Cheese 8, but it's not going to matter. Soul is completely surrounded. Soul is down, and so is Muzi. That's your buyback out from the jug now. But it's basically 2v5 if you buy back on the Pugna as well.
Yeah. And the Abyssal from Ferte holding back, ensuring that you get those diebacks going. The BKB TP coming out from Muzi. Opening onto the high ground, could just rush for the tier 4s, honestly. Not much to hold him back. When 2-man defense here from GRIN doesn't sound particularly impressive. Omni Slash in a few seconds, but with the Death Shroud, with a Shadow Dance, it doesn't feel like you'll find any good angles here for Soul. Not unless you have Muzi around.
Here we go. Jump in from Soul. One last try to protect this Ancient. Soul taking a fair bit of damage already. Still trying to retreat with the blast off timing. Perfect from Skyward. Omni Slash is there. Volodka, no. Depth Shroud is going to make it show the damage just never comes out from the jug. And this should be a GG call to come very soon unless Rojo can make some magic happen. He got Ferte. That's a start. The Slark down with that buyback. But surely there's no way to win this game now. Volodka jumps in. Rojo is gone. Ancient exposed. Rain Prince, he will follow his Lena very, very soon. He will try and life drain for a little bit, but it doesn't make the difference. Ravage, gonna cancel the kisses here from their Snapfire. Salivating Salamander, no chance to defend as GG is called. Beautiful.
This is bottle spam. Drop at the fountain. Who